Through the crystalline viewport of observation post Theta 9, senior observer Vextera watched Earth's gleaming cities with growing unease. Her iridescent scales shifted from their usual calm blue to a troubled violet as she studied the holographic displays surrounding her. "Another breakthrough, Coordinator?" asked her subordinate, Mir Kal, noticing her color change. "The seventh this solar cycle," Vextera replied, her four eyes narrowing as she manipulated the data streams. "They've managed to miniaturize quantum computing to the handheld scale." The projections indicated this achievement was at least 3 centuries away. The Arbiters had watched Earth for over 10,000 years, cataloging humanity's slow crawl from stone tools to steam engines. Their mission was simple: observe and document the development of primitive species across the galaxy. Earth had been just another assignment, remarkable only for its biodiversity and the peculiar persistence of its dominant species. But something had changed. Vextera pulled up the historical data charts, their crystalline matrices humming as they displayed humanity's technological progression. The line was no longer following the standard evolutionary curve. It had broken free of all projected models, shooting upward at an impossible angle. "Look at this, Mir Kal," she gestured at the display. 200 years ago, they were burning coal and fighting with primitive projectile weapons. Now they're manipulating quantum states and experimenting with crude but functional AI systems. There's no precedent for this rate of advancement. Mir Kal's own scales shifted to a thoughtful green. "Perhaps our models are flawed." "No," Vextera said firmly. "We've successfully predicted the development of over 10,000 species across the galaxy. The models work. The humans are different." She brought up another display, this one showing a recent memory recording from one of their cloaked observation drones. It showed a human research facility where scientists were attempting to reverse engineer a piece of space debris, a fragment of an ancient precursor ship that had crashed on their moon. By all rights, they should have been unable to comprehend even its basic principles. Instead, they were adapting it, modifying it, combining it with their own crude technology in ways that defied conventional understanding. Where other species would try to copy advanced technology exactly, humans seemed to delight in taking it apart and rebuilding it in new configurations. "They don't think like other species," Vextera continued, her voice a mixture of fascination and concern. "When they encounter a problem, they don't just seek a solution, they create dozens of potential solutions, test them all simultaneously, and somehow turn even their failures into new avenues of discovery." A soft chime interrupted her analysis. New data was flowing in from their orbital sensors. Vextera's scales paled to a stark white as she read the incoming information. "They've done it again," she whispered. "They've managed to create stable micro-wormholes in laboratory conditions. Using technology that's centuries behind what should be required. They've basically built a faster-than-light communications prototype using primitive particle accelerators and salvaged precursor crystals." Mir Kal's scales shifted to alarm red. "That's impossible. The energy requirements alone." "They found a way around them," Vextera interrupted. "They're not following the expected path of technological development. They're taking shortcuts, making leaps of logic that bypass entire stages of scientific advancement." She turned all four eyes to the blue-green planet rotating slowly below them. For millennia, the Arbiters had watched countless species rise and fall, their development following predictable patterns. But humanity was breaking every rule, defying every model. And now, as she studied their latest achievement, Vextera felt something she hadn't experienced in centuries: fear. Not of humanity's weapons or technology, but of their potential. Their unpredictability. Their ability to take the impossible and make it reality through sheer determination and creativity. A new alert flashed across her displays: the long-range sensors had detected something. Something that made her earlier concerns pale in comparison. Far beyond the edge of the solar system, a massive fleet was emerging from hyperspace. The distinctive energy signatures were unmistakable: the Nexus Collective, the galaxy's most aggressive expansion force, had arrived. Vextera's scales shifted through a rainbow of colors before settling on the deep purple of decisive action. The Arbiter's primary directive was non-interference, but as she watched the humans below continue their relentless innovation, she realized this was a moment that would reshape galactic history. "Send a priority message to the High Council," she commanded, her voice firm. "Earth requires immediate reclassification. These humans, they're not just another primitive species anymore. They're something we've never seen before. And they're about to face their greatest test." As Mir Kal hurried to compose the message, Vextera continued to watch the cities below, their lights twinkling like stars against the darkness. The humans had no idea what was coming. But based on everything she'd observed, she suspected the Nexus Collective had no idea what they were about to face either. The galaxy was about to learn a valuable lesson about underestimating humanity. And Vextera intended to document every moment of it. The emergency session of the Arbiter High Council hung in space like a constellation of floating crystals, each facet containing the projected image of a council member. Vextera stood in the center of this geometric display, her scales maintaining a steady professional blue despite her inner turmoil. "You propose we break our most sacred directive," Council Elder Zyxtal stated, his ancient form shimmering with disapproval. 10,000 years of non-interference, broken because you find these humans interesting. "I propose we break protocol because the alternative is watching the Nexus Collective destroy something unique in our galaxy," Vextera countered. She gestured, and the observation data from Earth filled the space around her. "Look at their development curve. Look at how they've adapted the precursor technology. No species we've ever observed has shown this pattern." "The collective will do what they always do," another council member interjected. "They will conquer, absorb, and move on. It is regrettable, but it is not our concern." Vextera's scales flickered to passionate red. "The collective expects to find a primitive world of easy conquest. Instead, they'll encounter a species that turned a piece of precursor debris into a working quantum communication array. A species that developed artificial gravity using technology that shouldn't be capable of it. They don't just adapt technology, they transform it." The council chambers fell silent as her words hung in the air. She pressed her advantage, and when the collective realizes this, they won't just conquer Earth. They'll obliterate it, ensuring these humans never become a threat to their dominion. In the silence that followed, Junior Observer Mir Kal stepped forward, his scales shifting nervously. "Honorable Council, there's something else. Our latest scans show the humans have detected the collective's approach." The council erupted in surprised colors. Early detection should have been impossible with Earth's level of technology. Vextera allowed herself a small smile, the humans had surprised them again. "They've modified their deep space telescopes with salvaged precursor optical crystals," Mir Kal explained. "They're tracking the collective fleet, but they don't understand what they're seeing. They think it's an astronomical anomaly." Elder Zyxtal's scales darkened. "If they've detected the fleet, then our intervention becomes even more unnecessary. Let them prepare as they will. Without understanding what they face, their preparation will be inadequate," Vextera argued. "The collective brings weapons that can crack planets. But if we warn them, if we share even basic information about their enemy." Her scales shifted to a deep, compelling purple. "We might witness something unprecedented." The council chambers filled with debating colors as the members communicated in rapid chromatic pulses. Finally, Elder Zyxtal spoke, "Your request is denied, Observer Vextera. The directive stands. You will maintain your observation post and document what comes, nothing more." Vextera bowed, her scales a respectful blue, and the council session dissolved. As the last crystals faded, she turned to find Mir Kal still standing there, his scales showing a pattern she'd never seen before. "You're going to warn them anyway, aren't you?" he asked quietly. "No, Mir Kal," she replied, her scales shifting to match his pattern. "You are. His scales flashed in shock, but she continued before he could protest. As senior observer, I am bound by additional protocols. But you, as a junior observer, have more flexibility. And if you were to take unauthorized action, the consequences would be far less severe. Why me? Because you've watched them with me. You've seen what they can do. She brought up a display of Earth, its blue-green surface peaceful against the void. The collective expects to find primitives with stolen technology. Instead, they should know they're about to face a species that looks at the impossible and sees a challenge to overcome. Mir Kal's scales cycled through confusion, fear, and finally settled on determination. How would I even contact them? Our technology is designed to be undetectable. Vexterra smiled. We don't need to contact all of them. Just one. Someone who will understand and act. She highlighted a location on the globe, a research facility in a place called Nevada. Dr. Sarah Chen. She's the one who led the precursor artifact adaptation project. She already suspects there's more to the universe than her people know. She just needs confirmation. As Mir Kal absorbed the implications, Vexterra added softly, whatever you decide, do it quickly. The collective fleet will reach Earth in less than 30 days. She watched her young subordinate leave, his scales swirling with complicated emotions. Then she turned back to her observation screens, where humanity continued their relentless innovation, unaware they were about to become the focus of a galactic drama. Perhaps she was wrong. Perhaps this violation of protocol would prove disastrous. But as she watched a test of human-modified precursor technology send ripples through space-time itself, she couldn't help but wonder, what would these remarkable creatures do when they learned they weren't alone in the universe? The answer, she suspected, would change everything. Dr. Sarah Chen stood motionless in her lab, staring at the shimmering hologram floating above her desk. The alien message, delivered through a method that defied her understanding of physics, played again, "You are not alone. You are in danger. They are coming." Accompanying the warning was a data packet that confirmed everything she'd suspected about the anomaly her team had detected. It wasn't a natural phenomenon. It was a fleet of warships, and Earth was their destination. "Play it again, Arya," she commanded. The AI system she'd developed, partially reverse-engineered from the precursor artifact, complied. "The energy signatures match what we detected last week," Arya reported. "The message appears to be from a different source than the approaching fleet. Two distinct alien civilizations, Dr. Chen. You were right all along." Sarah ran her fingers through her graying hair, her mind racing with implications. For years, her team had worked to understand the mysterious artifact found on the moon, creating hybrid technologies that her colleagues called impossible. Now she knew why they'd worked, they weren't the first to try. "Get me General Rivera and Director Wu," she said. "And prepare the Prometheus Protocol." Within hours, the Nevada facility's secure conference room was filled with humanity's best minds, connected virtually with research centers worldwide. The holographic display showed the approaching fleet's trajectory, now clearly visible as artificial structures rather than astronomical objects. 28 days, General Rivera stated, her weathered face grim. "That's how long we have before they arrive. Dr. Chen, you're telling me these arbiters broke their own laws to warn us? Which suggests the threat is grave enough to justify that risk," Director Wu added, his fingers dancing over a tablet displaying defense scenarios. "The question is, what do we do with these 28 days? Sarah stepped forward, her expression determined. "We do what humans do best. We adapt. We improvise. We combine the impossible with the practical." She gestured, and Arya displayed their current inventory of hybrid technologies. "We've been treating the precursor artifacts as templates to copy," she continued. "That was wrong. They're not instruction manuals, they're inspiration. The aliens expect us to either have primitive technology or poor copies of advanced tech. Instead, We'll give them something they've never seen before. The room burst into activity as Sarah outlined her plan. They would take every piece of hybrid technology they developed and push it further, combine it in ways its original creators never imagined. The quantum communication array became the foundation for a new kind of defense grid. The artificial gravity experiments evolved into localized spacetime distortion weapons. Teams worldwide began working around the clock. In Brazil, engineers combined their experimental atmospheric manipulation technology with the reverse-engineered alien power systems. Indian scientists found a way to modify their quantum computing arrays to predict and counter advanced targeting systems. Chinese researchers turned their gravity manipulation studies into a shield technology that bent space itself. But it was in the Nevada facility that Sarah and her team made the breakthrough that would change everything. It's not about matching their technology, she explained to her bleary-eyed team 3 weeks into their preparation. It's about using what we know in ways they'd never expect. The result was the Prometheus engine, a hybrid system that took the principles of their quantum communication experiment and turned them into something entirely new. It couldn't match the aliens' weapons for power, but it could turn their own energy signatures against them, creating cascading failures in their advanced systems. They'll expect either primitive projectile weapons or stolen advanced technology, Sarah told the Global Defense Council in their final briefing. Instead, they're going to face something unique to humanity, the combination of multiple technological generations working in harmony. Digital systems linked to quantum arrays, conventional weapons enhanced by spacetime manipulation, and artificial intelligence that can predict and adapt to their attacks. As the final days counted down, humanity's preparations took on an almost fevered pace. Traditional military forces were equipped with hybrid weapons and shields. Orbital platforms were modified with technology that didn't quite match the aliens' power, but operated in ways they wouldn't expect. And at the heart of it all, the Prometheus engine waited, ready to turn the laws of physics themselves into humanity's ally. 2 days before the projected arrival, Sarah stood in her lab one last time, looking at the original precursor artifact that had started everything. They're expecting primitives, she said softly to herself. Instead, they're going to find out what happens when humanity is backed into a corner with just enough time and knowledge to be dangerous. Arya's voice interrupted her thoughts. Dr. Chen, deep space arrays have confirmed the fleet's position. They'll enter the solar system in 48 hours. Sarah nodded, her expression set with determination. Send the alert. It's time to show the galaxy what humans can do when we're underestimated. Above her, through the facility's reinforced windows, the night sky sparkled with stars. Somewhere out there, humanity's first alien contact was approaching. They came expecting an easy conquest, but humanity had spent 4 weeks preparing a welcome they'd never forget. The greatest test in human history was about to begin. Supreme Commander Zarketh of the Nexus Collective stood on the bridge of his worldship, his crystalline form pulsing with anticipation as they entered the target system. The scans showed primitive satellites, basic space stations, and rudimentary defensive platforms, exactly what he expected from such an underdeveloped world. Launch the first wave, he commanded. Standard Conquest Protocol. The first wave of ships emerged from the worldship's hangars, their weapons charging. They expected minimal resistance. They were wrong. Dr. Sarah Chen watched from the Nevada Command Center as humanity's trap was sprung. The moment the alien ships crossed the orbit of Jupiter, the Prometheus engine activated. Quantum-entangled particles, scattered throughout the solar system, began their work. Energy signatures detected, Arya reported. Their weapons are charging, and the engine is responding. The alien ships fired their first salvos, massive energy beams that should have vaporized Earth's defensive satellites. Instead, the beams hit the quantum-enhanced gravitational fields and split apart, their energy redirected through spacetime in ways that defied conventional physics. In orbit, Admiral Helen Ross watched from her flagship as the hybrid defense network she'd helped design came to life. Traditional railguns enhanced with gravity manipulation technology fired projectiles at speeds that shouldn't have been possible. The rounds phased in and out of normal space, bypassing the alien shields entirely. "They're adapting," she reported, watching the alien ships adjust their shield frequencies. "Just as we expected. Aria, initiate Protocol Hydra." The AI system, distributed across Earth's quantum computing network, instantly recalculated firing solutions. As the aliens adjusted their defenses against the phase-shifted projectiles, humanity's orbital platforms switched to a new hybrid weapon, microscopic wormholes that deposited conventional explosives directly inside their target's shield perimeters. On the worldship, Zarketha's crystalline form flickered with disbelief. "Impossible. Their technology is centuries behind ours. These tactics, these weapons, they shouldn't exist." Supreme Commander, his science officer reported, "Their weapons, they're not copying our technology. They're combining multiple technological approaches. Our sensors can't predict what they'll do next because they're not following any known advancement pattern." The battle spread across the solar system. The collective superior numbers and advanced technology clashed with humanity's unconventional hybrid warfare. When the aliens adapted to one tactic, humans switched to another, combining technologies in ways that defied traditional combat doctrine. In the Nevada facility, Sarah worked with Aria to coordinate humanity's defense. "They're pushing through the outer defense line," she noted. "Time for the secondary protocol." Across Earth, hidden installations activated. The atmospheric manipulation technology, combined with quantum field generators, created unpredictable distortions in spacetime. Alien targeting systems, designed to deal with either primitive or advanced technology, couldn't cope with weapons that straddled both. "This is not possible." Zarketh raged as another squadron of his ships was torn apart by weapons that shouldn't have existed. They were supposed to be primitives. How are they doing this? The answer came in the form of a transmission from Earth, broadcast on all frequencies. Sarah Chen's voice filled every ship in the collective fleet. "You came expecting to find helpless primitives. Instead, you found humanity. We don't follow your rules of technological progression. We don't care what should or shouldn't be possible. We take what works, combine it with what we know, and create something new. You brought superior technology, we brought human ingenuity." As if to emphasize her words, the Prometheus engine reached full power. The quantum entanglement network, spread throughout the solar system, created a cascading reaction. Every piece of advanced technology in the collective fleet began to interact with itself in impossible ways. Shields protected ships from their own weapons. Targeting systems saw every target and no target simultaneously. Admiral Ross watched from her command ship as the mighty collective fleet fell into chaos. "They're retreating from the outer system," she reported. "Their formations are breaking down. All ships, commence Operation Thunderbolt." Earth's combined fleet, traditional spacecraft enhanced with hybrid technology, surged forward. They shouldn't have been able to match the collective ships, but they didn't need to. They just needed to get close enough for the Prometheus engine to do its work. The battle that was supposed to be a simple conquest had turned into the collective's worst nightmare. They faced an enemy that didn't just fight back, they fought in ways that no strategic simulation could have predicted. As his world-ship systems began to fail, Supreme Commander Zarketh made the only decision he could. "All ships, emergency retreat. Full withdrawal from this system." His crystalline form dimmed with shame as he added, "The humans, they're not primitives. They're something else entirely." The collective fleet, or what remained of it, fled the solar system. They left behind a debris field of advanced technology that humanity would no doubt find new ways to adapt and transform. In the Nevada facility, Sarah Chen watched the retreat with exhausted satisfaction. "Aria, send word to all commands. The Earth is safe." But as she looked at the battle data, she knew this was just the beginning. Humanity had proven itself on the galactic stage in a way no one expected. The galaxy would never be the same, and neither would humanity. In the aftermath of the battle, Earth's orbit glittered with an unusual constellation. Debris from collective ships mingled with human defensive platforms, while arbiter observation vessels hung openly in space for the first time in 10,000 years. Senior observer Vexterra stood in the Nevada facility's conference room, her scales shifting through patterns of amazement as she studied the hybrid technology surrounding her. Dr. Sarah Chen sat across the table, surrounded by holographic displays showing the ongoing analysis of collective wreckage. In all our millennia of observation, Vexterra said, we've never seen anything like what you achieved. You didn't just defeat the collective, you changed the fundamental equations of galactic warfare. Sarah smiled tiredly, gesturing at the latest analysis results. We just did what humans have always done. We adapted. We improvised. We took what we had and made it work. That's precisely why the collective retreated. Vexterra's scales flickered with emphasis. Their entire civilization is built on technological superiority. When faced with technology they couldn't categorize, couldn't predict, they had no framework to respond. The door opened as General Rivera entered with Admiral Ross, both looking worn but satisfied. Behind them came Mir Kal, the young arbiter who had risked everything to warn humanity. The collective's withdrawal is complete, Admiral Ross reported. Long-range sensors show them regrouping at the edge of the Orion Arm. They're maintaining a significant distance. More importantly, General Rivera added, we're receiving communications from other civilizations. Word of our victory has spread. The galaxy's political landscape is shifting. Sarah wasn't surprised. The Prometheus engine and humanity's other hybrid innovations had done more than win a battle, they'd demonstrated a completely new approach to technological development. Already, research teams worldwide were studying the collective debris, finding new ways to combine it with existing human technology. The High Council has reached a decision, Vexterra announced, her scales settling into formal patterns. Earth is being reclassified. You're no longer considered a developing civilization, you're being recognized as a full member of the galactic community. With some unique provisions, Mir Kal added, his scales showing pride. The Council acknowledges that humanity's approach to technology represents a new path of development. They're proposing an exchange of knowledge. Sarah leaned forward. Exchange? Not just them teaching us. Precisely, Vexterra's scales rippled with amusement. Your methods of combining technologies, of finding connections between different development stages, these are things the older races never considered. The Council believes there's as much to learn from you as to teach. The implications were staggering. Humanity wouldn't just be joining the galactic community, they'd be helping to reshape it. Already, the Prometheus engine's principles were being studied by races whose technology had stagnated for millennia. There's something else, General Rivera said, activating a new holographic display. The collective's retreat has created a power vacuum. Several independent worlds have reached out, seeking protection. They're more interested in our hybrid defense technology than traditional advanced systems. Because it works, Admiral Ross noted. It might not be the most powerful or most advanced, but it's adaptable. Unpredictable. Just like us. Sarah stood, walking to the window. Below, the Nevada facility was expanding, new research wings under construction to study the combination of human, collective, and arbiter technologies. Above, the first joint human-arbiter space station was taking shape, a symbol of the new era. So what happens now? She asked, turning back to Vexterra. The senior observer's scales shifted to a complex pattern of possibility. Now the real work begins. The galaxy has seen what humanity can do when challenged. The collective's defeat proves that technological advancement isn't a linear path. Your species has opened up possibilities that no one imagined existed. And the collective? Mir Kal asked. They'll be back, General Rivera said firmly. But next time, we'll be ready. And we'll have had time to come up with even more impossible solutions. Sarah smiled, looking at the hybrid quantum computer where Arya was already processing new combinations of technologies. That's what humans do best. We take the impossible and make it work. And now we have an entire galaxy of impossibilities to work with. As if in response, a new alert appeared on the screens, another breakthrough from one of the research teams. Humanity's journey from isolated civilization to galactic power had been unexpected, unprecedented, and thoroughly human. They hadn't just survived first contact, they transformed it into something entirely new. Above them, Earth's night sky sparkled with possibilities. The age of isolation was over. The age of human innovation had begun. And the galaxy would never be quite the same again. But then, that's what humans did best, they changed things, challenged assumptions, and found new ways forward. It wasn't just about survival anymore. It was about showing the galaxy what was possible when you combine determination, creativity, and the uniquely human ability to look at the impossible and say, let's try it anyway. The future was uncertain, but one thing was clear, humanity had earned its place among the stars, not by following the expected path, but by creating their own. And that was just the beginning.